I hope I have the right agenda, and we're gonna go forward. At this time, I welcome each and every one of you to the Bill Rush, William Rush Education Building for this morning's meeting. At this time, I call the meeting to order. With that, who wants to do the invocation?
Peggy.
Cobb?
Excuse me if I can't get up, people.
Okay.
Let's all put our minds and our hearts and to look to the Lord this morning. Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning, Lord, and we just thank you for another day.
Yes.
Thank you that you blessed us with this gift, Lord. How we use it is up to us. You gave us that choice. Just help us to guide us to do what you would have us to do, whether it's in this meeting, in our walk, whatever it might be. I just ask you to be in the midst of us today. Whatever things come upon us today, that you'll be with us, that you'll guide us, and you'll show us what it is that we have to do. Not for ourselves, not to glorify ourselves, but to glorify you, Lord. I thank you for the people that are here, the districts that they represent, the people in their district, their families, Lord, every need that they might have and those people have, that you'll just abide in them. Because you tell us to abide in you, and that's what we want to do, is just to keep a close relationship with you, Lord. And I just thank you again for everyone that's here, Lord. Bless the tribe. Bless the things that we're supposed to do. Whatever things come into the tribe, just help us to do. Use it the way it needs to be used for the people, Lord. And I just thank you again for your mercy and your grace. Most of all, your love, Lord. I thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you. Okay,
So we don't need it since I read it. Okay, I'll just take my
Well, we
element.
got a dinner.
okay.
No, I don't have anything.
Yeah.
Joyce has some extras. Can you get element agenda?
And Frank,
Please?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Did you not get yours either? I mailed everything out in the mail.
Oh, I didn't get nothing in the mail.
I sent them out in March, because keep in mind, there was nothing.
I got the one that.
That's a carryover.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a carryover, because there was no business done in March.
I'm gonna have about
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking at May,
Okay.
that's for April, that's why I couldn't find it.
you didn't have
It was laying on, it was on my desk, that's where it was at.
If it's a master, I can.
You didn't have April.
Okay, thank you for that, Peggy. We're going to move on to item number, as soon as I get back to my space, item number 3, I believe, was the roll call. So, Secretary, if you would, please.
Okay, council, we're going to go on with item number 3, as chief requested, and it's roll call. I will call for roll. Eddie? Jeannie?
Here.
Elmay?
Here.
Adeline?
I knew,
Frankie?
Here.
Sharon?
here,
Joyce? Here. Peggy?
Here.
Jamie?
Here.
Charles? Barry?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Here.
Okay, chief, council, we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you for that.
They have to go make copies.
Okay.
It's just.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry, this is kind of difficult for me today because I don't have a paper sheet in front of me, so I'm trying to get familiar with the technology, and I'll read off this. Once I get finished with this, I'll go ahead and shoot it out to you all as well for your, at your computer, so you'll have it as well. But anyway, welcome. Welcome to the William Rice Education Building, May 16th, 2020. Boy, this has been a real, unreal journey since our last meeting, on March 16th, 2020. It's been in this very room. Who would have imagined what was about to happen. Presently, in the United States, there are 1,390,406 cases of coronavirus. There's been 84,109 deaths. There's been 243,430 recovery. The numbers in Oklahoma are statewide, 4,962 virus cases, 284 deaths, 3,666 recovering cases. In our largest tribal counties, we're countywide now. In our largest tribal counties, Peter County, 74 cases, 3 deaths, 55 recoveries. Cherokee County, 29 cases, 1 death, 23 recovered. Delaware County, 93 cases, 16 deaths, 69 recovered. So as we go through the day and the rest of the week and so on, keep all and everyone in your prayers that we get through this, so that we begin the slow recovery, the slow process of recovery as well as healing. So with that, please keep them in your prayers. We're very fortunate that we had, to my knowledge, we're very fortunate that we had no one sick with the virus. Certainly thank everyone for pulling together to get us through this ordeal. It's not been easy. We've had a few setbacks, we've had a few misses, we've had a few recoveries. Still, the best remedy is to stay in place. Wash and sanitize hands, do not touch your face, your mouth, or anything of that nature. Your eyes. Stay away from sick people, social distancing, wear a mask. Things like handshakes will be replaced with elbow bumps or fist bumps, things of that nature. Face masks will be more common. I thank all who have continued to assist those in need through this ordeal. Archie and the Nutrition Center, Black Horse for their maintaining the mail and being here, maintenance, health and human resources, housing, and you council for checking on your tribal members in your district. Thank you all. Since our last meeting, a lot has happened. No school graduations, no summer sports, no mention of things get back to normal as we knew it. Social distancing, elbow bumps, face masks may be the new future. As we battle this invisible enemy, we don't know when it started. We don't know when it will end. We don't know who's carrying the virus and unintentionally spreading among us, without even knowing he or she is sick. So those are some of the elements we're dealing with. Of the different grants and different proposals that are out there, we applied for the PPP Paycheck Protection Plan, which is a federal loan. And council, if we do this right, it'll be forgiven. It was in the neighborhood of $790,000. 25% of that is to be used to pay for utilities and things of this nature. Title VII self-governance, this was the first thing that we received, was in the neighborhood of $2.4 million. President Louis served, we received 1.3 so far. Now the rest is coming. Now, that was pre-programmed, that was self-governance programming. There was little that we could do with that. Title VII of the self-governance. Okay, Title V of the President's Care Package, Care Relief, Corona Relief Fund, Title V, issued $8 billion to tribes, 474 tribes across America. Initially, there was a fight for that because the Alaskan Native corporations wanted a piece of that. There were about 240 of those. But the courts, the Pacific tribes filed suit, they won the suit. So the initial part of the $8 billion was 60%. We received 24,040,000 and some. So that's that part of it. The part that, the 40% that was set aside for the Alaskan Native corporations is yet to be submitted or sent out. that will be starting as soon as Monday. We're in the process of gathering the information that's being requested from the Treasury Department. It's basic things like number of employees, the total cost per year, the average budget, those sorts of things. We put those together, send it back to the Treasury. They give us the piece of the 40% at that time.
Oh, excuse me just a minute.
Yes.
So what you're saying is there's more money that will be available
Yes,
besides the 24 million?
yes,
Maybe, it all depends on the court case.
yes.
The judge has said they can't give it to the ANCs, the Alaska Native Corporations, but the government might appeal that, and the judge has not ordered that those funds be released yet. So it's, maybe there will be more and maybe not.
So there's been 60% released.
Yeah.
40% is still
Pending.
tied up in litigation
Yes.
because they want to determine whether the Alaskan Natives.
Yeah, and the tribes actually filed a motion recently to order the government to release that right now, right away. And the judge said, no, I'm not gonna do that, but if they wait too long, then I will do that. So he's giving the government some time to come up with a plan.
And basically, what I was going off of was, not only that, but the Treasury notified us to send this information, so we're going off of that as well. So there is a possibility we'll get some more. How much it is?
We've already received 24 million, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, that came out in an email about 2 weeks ago.
Pardon for butting into his address, but tomorrow, the 17th, is a deadline for submission of this to obtain the 40% if the ruling goes in favor of the tribes. So and they want a quarter, they want expenditures and employee numbers in quarters of 19. So we're working on that.
Right.
Just a minute. I just heard Mr. Wakachi say that there was an email that came out 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was
addressed
to the council and the director.
Did anybody get, how many in here? I didn't get an email. Did you get one,
I
Treasurer?
didn't either. I didn't know about this.
I got one concerning the 2.4.
I got the, 2.4, I saw
Yeah.
Right, that part, and then later
I saw
on.
the 2.4,
Yeah.
and then it was disclosed that there would be 1.3, I think you made that very clear. But what about, I'd like to see the email for the 24 million.
I've got my iPad out in the car, I can go get it, or
Let me look for it.
Thank you, ma'am. You're welcome.
So that,
Let's not,
the treasurer should have been notified, I thought, looked like it was on her.
I didn't see it. Because
Okay,
I've
go
been
ahead.
checking my
all
email.
the council were notified.
I've been checking my email.
So, hey, okay,
it
Here
was
we
just
go.
in a response, so it's in a
Excuse
reply.
me.
yes, sir.
It was like.
We're talking about all these millions of dollars, how come the treasurer didn't know anything about it? Well, they're saying she did.
Good question.
Excuse me?
We were saying she was notified.
They're saying that she was notified.
Yeah.
What Mr. McConchy said.
Just like
Everybody was notified, he says.
Well, she's sitting over there, is that
I didn't
correct
see
or
it
incorrect?
though.
Well, there should be a date on that email when it
Yeah.
out.
You went right after my car.
Well, let's not get hung up on that.
It might have
Let's
got
move
stopped by
forward, we
judge.
got it. Right? Okay?
Now, sometimes I get things on my phone, but sometimes I don't.
Okay.
So it might have been that then, that I didn't know about it. You should have called me.
Well, wait a minute.
You could have just called me.
Oh, well, that's true, but in defense of the chief here, he's saying that an email, was it from the Treasury Department? Who was it from?
It was from me.
Oh, it's from you?
Yeah.
Sent to the council?
Notifying the council, yes.
That's why we didn't get it.
Okay. Well, I misunderstood. I thought it was sent out.
What, you didn't read your email, or I didn't send it? What are you saying?
Here's the thing, on mine, sometimes I don't have a good email. Sometimes I get emails and sometimes I don't. And I have discussed that, discussed that many times.
Ladies and gentlemen, we can get through that. We got the 24 million. That's the important.
Well, the thing is, Chief, excuse me, no disrespect, but the thing is, letting us know. That's the main thing, making sure that we as council know, and you might not think that's an important thing, but I will tell you, down in the Illinois district, there's very few things that I really do know until I come to the meetings.
Okay.
And I don't come to the office every day. That's not, I don't think that I should come up here and find out what's going on. if you're sending emails, will you make sure that you have the correct email for me? Because like I said, I don't get it on my computer. They keep saying, oh, you can get a hotspot, get a hotspot. I've not seen a hotspot. So I don't have a computer that will get the emails. My phone is the only thing that I can get it on, and it's not a good email sometimes.
Okay,
So all I'm saying is that just make sure that we get the information.
okay.
Joyce, is there any way, just say for instance, on the email, you know, like me, I can just hit council?
Like-
All right, is there any way these guys that don't have, are not utilizing the Katua man's email systems, like say for instance, him and her, is there any way that we can add them in there so that whenever the email goes out, it also goes to them?
Well, I did,
It's supposed to.
yeah, cause
Yeah.
she does.
Every
what I
time,
do.
yeah, but every time I go, I know every time I send an email, I have to add her and I have to
And that's what
add
I
her.
do.
Exactly,
Well,
yeah.
I'm not, on my
Yeah,
defense,
I
I
thought I
send
did too.
council,
Did you see it?
then I hit
Yeah, I
Eddie,
think so.
Peggy.
Right.
Well, she can't get it in the grouping, so you
Was
have
it
to
before,
include.
Jeff, was it before the $2.4 million?
No,
Yeah, so that's how I do it, I include
That
them.
But it's
That
in
was
a,
a reply to
it's
Sharon.
in a reply with that.
Yeah, it's in the reply, like a thread that's going on.
It's in that same thread as the 2.4 million,
Yeah.
because I remember seeing it too.
Representative Tidwell,
Yes.
if you look at the emails that I send, I always copy Representative Flute's private email address on the CC line.
Right.
So that's how I try to keep her involved. I don't know if anybody else.
I try to do that for her and Frankie both. Sometimes when you're sending an email, you forget.
Yeah, and I don't know, I may not have yours, Frankie. I may need to make sure I've got your.
I do a lot of
other email
texting,
address.
but
Do you
Peggy.
get emails from
67.
me?
67.
So,
Usually if I might get an email and I try to reply, but it won't go through.
Yeah.
Right.
So then I'll just text somebody.
Right.
There.
Well,
Information.
here's.
Okay. I got one on May the 1st.
It's May the 1st.
Yeah.
You got it?
It's, passes information on directors, OSD programs, addressed to all the elected officers. Jeannie, you replied to it.
To,
AT&T, you get that where you're at?
Something
It's-
in reference to the 2.4 million.
You have to get curved, I
But
mean,
they're
you
talking
have
about
to
the
get
24
service
million.
for it.
Yeah, it's
In
in
order
there.
to.
I think it's in that same thread.
Well, I've got it right here.
You gotta have us, they gotta pay for it.
Marquana sent the first one out.
Right,
Is that the one you're looking at?
yes.
okay.
And then Joyce, on mine here, Joyce come in and said, thank you. Only my comment. I knew you could complete this submission. Jeannie comes on and says, thank you, Marquana. These are on
What's the date on that?
for
May 1st.
30th.
Oh, 30th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marquana says, that's good news. My apologies. Thank you for your input. The other information I provided, the messages regarding everybody in that place here. You're welcome then to Jeannie. Nell May, thank you, Quanah. Chief Bunch, thank you, looks great. And then Marquana comes back again and says, thank you.
That's where mine cuts off right there.
That's where mine cuts off.
Me too.
Southern Plains Tribal Health Grant Submission is what that was titled.
And I'm not included in any of the rest of the email tracking. I was taken off at that point.
Yep, me too.
Stand still on this thing, or we just go on it, or what are we
I'm just
doing?
trying to figure out
Yeah,
who got notification.
we're ready to move forward. Before we move forward though, hey, we've got some ideas on how to spend the money as well. What do you, as council, in 2 weeks, let's come together, if it's Zoom or whatever, let's put our ideas together and do this. Let's look at this, because that's something we want to do.
I really wanna read what does the whole program talk about?
I want to see
Yeah,
the
The
policy.
parameters, specific things that.
Yes.
Go to, you can start now. You can go to CARES Act, CARESACT, look at Title V.
And that's where it explains how we can use that money
It does
for.
explain, yes.
Is there going to be a phone conference concerning this that gives us the do's and don'ts? I heard that there was gonna be one possibly next week. Has anyone gotten notification on that?
You heard what?
That there was gonna be like a
I'm kind of concerned.
a phone conference that lines out everything, that you can go in and sit in on this, just like they did with the,
There's been several phone conferences, but which one is applying to what you're talking about is, it's very difficult to look at all the different things that are going on. But yeah, I can imagine there will be. We can just go to the treasury office and look. As soon as we find out, we'll blurt that out, shoot that out to everybody via email.
so are you constantly getting, emails from the treasurer's office? You are?
Yeah.
How come our treasurer's not receiving, that's the custodian right there of all of our money, and I don't understand
I'm a
why.
representative of the tribe.
I understand that, there's no question about
But
that.
Joe,
All right then, that's
That's
the
not
You
my
could
point.
call me personally, because you called me and when I went outside, I called you back. I can't get anything on my phone in the house. But you could call me personally and let me know this.
Wait a minute, yes, sir. You got the floor now.
All right. Electronics are a wonderful thing, people. I know I was a pilot for years and years and years, and I had to depend on electronics to fly by. But let me tell you something about electronics. They can fail, and they'll do you a lot of dirty work real quick.
Yeah.
I remember one incident where that I was flying in the clouds, of course, on the IFR, and my instrument could tell me one thing here, that I'm in the clear, there's nothing in front of me, and all of a sudden I break out of the clouds and there's a mountain staring me right in the face. So these electronics are absolutely wonderful, but they should be backed up with something verbally if it's important.
Okay,
Would you not agree with that?
okay.
Yes, no, or go to hell or what?
Yeah, I agree with you.
I completely agree. But there's a lot of us not getting the information that we should be getting.
There it is, on 5/7/2020 at 1:09
This is what I
p.m.
printed off.
Good afternoon, council. Portion of the Corona Relief Fund arrived this morning. The amount is $24 million, and there may be more in the event the judgment against the Alaska Native Corporations goes against the ANC. There are stipulations what this can be used for. I will bring more information on usage to the council. This is a great day for the UKB. Congratulations, council. We had 4 days to compile the information needed for Treasury. Great job, Joyce, Lori, LD, Sarah, and me. And it was addressed to Sharon Benoit directly, council plus 6 others, which is Clint Cowan, Jeannie Tidwell, LMA Worley, CC Sachs Eddie at gmail.com, Fluke Peggy at yahoo.com, and Charles Smoke.
I don't have that one on my 5/7.
It's underneath the Supreme Court oral argument in McGirt.
My name's not on there.
5/7, when Chief sent it out. It's under the Supreme Court oral argument in McGirt.
I got May council meeting agenda on 5/7.
Well, I couldn't just put this on.
Yeah, I
I
just
see
did
it,
it.
I see it now.
May 7th, yeah, May 7th at 1:09.
Sarah?
I can't just go in and add
I
this
see it
2 weeks ago, or a week ago.
Nobody's saying you did.
I thought I had seen an
Nobody's saying
email
you
like that.
did it.
Ernestine Barry. Thank you, Jeannie. Good one, Miss Barry, I saw that one.
Okay,
Yeah. You know, but let me tell you something. I mean, I'm not trying to say, but a lot of times when there's a whole total complete thread that continues on with one email that has nothing to do with the other email, I can guarantee you, you're gonna have people fall off because, everyone may be sitting here telling Clint, thank you, and then nobody's expecting at the end that there's gonna be a whole entirely different conversation that has nothing to do with the other. And
I hear your biggest problem, I tell you.
I'm not saying that's the wrong thing, because the information is there, but after I got finished reading what Clint had said, I'm not expecting that, bam, we're gonna get another surprise, and at the end of the email, there's gonna be something on there, because if you notice, I replied to Clint. I was looking at what Clint said, because that was Clint's email. I think if we're gonna have other things that are gonna come up that's gonna be that important, it needs to be addressed on a separate email and not on a thread.
I don't even
Because
see
a lot of people miss information.
I don't even see you reply. Sharon was the only one that replied to it, and she said, "Good job, thank you for this
You
information."
I
you might have
replied and said
replied to
thank
me
you.
directly.
I replied directly to Clint, but that was before his. And like I'm saying, things like that need to be separated. If someone's sitting here talking about, oh, I went and bought a puppy yesterday, and then everybody's like, oh, good, good, good. And then at the very end, somebody sneaks in information, or not sneaks, but puts in information that's not relevant to the original email that went out, then there's things that are lost.
Yeah, I see where you said thank you, Clint. So
Yeah.
that's all I got after that.
Yeah, and after I get finished thanking him for it, I'm not really interested in anything else because I've gotten the information concerning that email.
That's on 7th. I got that from Clint.
I guess that's where it comes in good, that they call me a micromanager. Good, I take that as a compliment. I'm good at looking at stuff and reviewing it and everything, and I pay attention to what I'm reading, so I guess I take that as a great compliment to I'm a micromanager.
Thank you.
Let me have the floor one more time.
One more time.
I'll tell you what, like I said, the electronics are absolutely wonderful. But what we need to have is a second communique or something or another on important things. People are saying they can't get the email, I don't get the email, but if it's something that is really important, it needs to be backed up verbally, not electronically. I'm talking about just mouth to mouth.
Is this the guidelines for?
There's another one with guidelines.
It shows
I was
us
just looking.
how we gotta spend it?
Yeah, I just have it on my phone.
One of them, preparation, prevention,
There's a
that's for the, Title 7 in here, the other ones, I think that's a whole reading over.
If you type in Treasury, CARES Act, Tribal Government.
Is there a time limit?
Guidelines, it'll come
Is
up.
there a time limit when you gotta spend it?
December 31st,
Yeah, well, that's the year.
which might change. Congress may extend it, but right now it's December 31st.
Oh, spend
That was my
that
question.
much
Is it
money.
spent or is it allocated?
I can't hear
Which
you.
one is it? Do you have to spend or do you have to have it
That's a good
allocated?
question.
If you don't spend it, you gotta give it back.
See, that's-
So we can't just go off of allocations, we can't say, okay, this is what our plan is, it's gotta be spent by December.
Okay, in that case, then I want the Delaware district, you know, we have a lot more numbers than, say, the other districts too, so I'll take that.
Well, I thought it'd be pretty good that the chief got a raise, but I don't know. So, come on, guys, laugh, shit, come on. Don't be stunned.
That is not funny.
Raise.
Do you all want to hear the guidelines now, or do you want to wait till this meeting about the funds?
Just break that down to what we can spend it on, what we
I've got the guidelines here. They
Is it the 24 million?
24 million. Yeah. So it's costs incurred during the period that begins March 1st and ends on December 30th, 2020. They give examples of eligible expenditures. They include, but are not limited to, payment for medical expenses related to COVID-19 and COVID-19 related things.
We even have one person.
Public health expenses such as communications about COVID-19, acquiring and distributing medical and protective supplies, child welfare, anybody who works with the community that needs to protect public health, expenses for disinfection, technical assistance to local authorities on mitigation of COVID-19, expenses for public safety measures taken in response to COVID-19, expenses for quarantining individuals. The third category is payroll expenses for anyone whose services are substantially dedicated to mitigating or responding to the COVID-19 public health emergency. The fourth category is actions to facilitate compliance with COVID-19 related public health measures. So food delivery, distance learning, technology improvements, telework improvements, paid sick and paid family medical leave, maintaining prisons and jails, care for the homeless population. The fifth category is expenses associated with the provision of economic support in connection with the pandemic. Expenditures related to the provision of grants to small businesses, state, tribal government payroll support program, unemployment insurance costs related to the COVID-19. And then the sixth category is probably the broadest one. It says any other COVID-19 related expenses reasonably necessary to the function of government that satisfy the fund's eligibility criteria. So if it's reasonably connected to your governmental role and it's reasonably connected to public health, then you can spend money on that.
All right. All right, well, let's come back on the 30th. Some ideas? Okay, that's all I have. Let's move on out to
I'll
item
email it to
5.
everybody.
Sorry?
I was just telling Jamie I'd email the guidelines to everybody.
And they can find that in Title 5 of the CARES Act as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Item number 5. Approval of regular and special minutes for the month of March.
Motion.
Motion? Who motion?
That's right.
Heather? Who second? Rick?
Okay, council, before I call for vote, is there any questions regarding that? I know it's been a while because I sent them out in March, so that's why
Yeah, Secretary, I have a question. I didn't make the March meeting, I apologize, I had some water line issues.
Yeah.
I had a call about the February minutes at that meeting, and nobody, I guess, addressed it. There was, back in February, there was a gentleman at the meeting. If you can watch the minutes, watch the video, I don't know if everybody ever does, I watch them all, but there was a gentleman that was talking to the corporate board executive director about certifications at the KCPS up there, and he was using the word CARP, C-A-R-P.
that's what he said.
And I saw that in the minutes of the meeting. There's no such certification as for CARP. It's C-A-R-F, CARF.
Yeah, and you had asked me to communicate that to Joyce to get that fixed, and I don't know if I forgot or didn't.
Since our minutes are recorded documents, that's probably going to change in the February minutes. I don't guess anybody looked at the minutes. But the word, there's no such certification as CARP. I don't know if he's claimed to be a subject matter expert in that, but he was saying CARP. Because I had a couple of people contact me and say, what's he talking about? And I said, I don't know. Check, but it's CARP. You might have been thinking about fishing. That's the only CARP I know. Fishing, CARP.
I wouldn't have known the difference,
Well,
because I don't know anything about
right,
certification.
if you remember there, who he was talking to, Randall asked me, he had this certification, he had his book out and all that, and I was thinking he was saying CARF, and I got thinking, he sounded like he was saying CARP, and it was
Right.
verified to me that he said CARP, and then when I watched the video, he was calling it CARP,
Well, I
but
think,
it's
I
CARP.
think in my minutes I did write CARP.
Yeah, you had CARP in the minutes, and so I think the minutes need to be corrected to CARF, because I think some of our youth that's running around here.
Okay, so you're saying that has been corrected?
Huh?
You're saying that has been corrected?
No, the minutes were passed without that correction.
without that correction.
So I will have to go back in these minutes and define the February minutes of the change of these, what are these called? I've lost it.
The abbreviation?
What's the,
Abbreviation?
yeah.
Acronym.
Acronym.
Yes, the word.
Change the acronym
Change the
of CARF
acronym.
to CARF, C-A-R-F.
Okay.
Sorry,
So what is the actual, the acronym, what does it completely mean?
It's the certification we have to have.
What's
for
the
that.
CARF?
It's affiliated facilities, the F stands for facilities.
Okay.
It's for the certification we have to have. We're in all certification up there. Randall
Right.
told him that, and Randall told me, he said, I thought he was saying CARF, but he said, I know he meant CARF, so.
Yeah.
Certification, CAR, certification of affiliated rehabilitation facilities. That's
There you
what
go.
All right.
Yes,
Want to
Change that,
include
yes.
this, include the change of the
Yes.
February
Thank you,
minutes?
thank you,
Okay.
Council.
yes.
In addition,
In
okay?
addition to.
May I ask one question before you, I was not here for the March meeting. Do I vote, are we voting for what I read in here? And that's all, whether I was here or not, I can
Yeah,
vote for what I
and you
read.
can, yeah, it's
Okay.
just that.
Just an amendment
That's- Yeah, it's
to
just.
the acronym, I guess. change
Yeah,
it to
this is an
acronym.
amendment to that acronym, but that's for February, which you voted on. Okay.
And you're voting for the approval of the March meeting minutes as well.
The 7th and the 21st.
Yeah.
Okay, any more questions? If not, we have a motion by Adeline and a second by Jeff. I will call for a vote. Eddie?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Ella May?
Yes.
Adeline?
On here?
Frankie?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yes.
Joyce? Yes. Peggy?
Yes,
Jamie?
Yes.
Charles?
Yes.
Barry?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you, council.
Okay, if you don't mind, let's go right on into item number 6, reports to council with enrollment report, secretary.
See if I can find it.
You got three. Please come on board, one request.
Hey, council, I'll refresh, I guess, the memory, because I know this has been out for a while. There was 2 applications for membership and 1 travel relinquishment, which they did not, only notation they put was other. The enrollment committee did not actually meet because we were already in this COVID pandemic, and other than myself, the other 3 on the enrollment committee are elders, and they were at the high risk, so I didn't call them in, everybody was at that stay at home. So, and on the right-hand side, you'll see I put a notation, due to the COVID-19 and the high risk of elders to be a concern of any health issue. The enrollment did not meet, but by text, phone call, or email, I received their response to the enrollment report, and they were all
According
approval.
to your minutes, your guides, then you're okay.
Okay. So, anyway, I just want to let you know that we didn't actually have a meeting, but I did receive the information by text, phone call, or email in support of these 2 memberships and the 1 relinquishment. So therefore, I would ask for an acceptance of my report.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
And, excuse me, are we going to get the, our new membership or for the election? You were supposed to give us some new, for our districts. We were going to get, where we were going to, make sure that they were done right. Remember, we were going to,
Eligible voters list.
Yeah.
Updated eligible.
Exclusive members?
Right.
Exclusive
Yes.
members
Well,
anyway.
that will come in July, because the election stuff can't run out of my office. That's conflicted because of But when the election board meets and starts requiring all these documents, those will be available. If that's what, is that where you're going with this?
Yeah, we were talking about making sure that we got those completed.
Oh, okay, in the progeny software.
Right.
Yes, they're all in and known in there as inactive now, after you all pass the, so that is set. So when the election board requests the, list of eligible voters, those that maintain inactive will not be printed in the binder as an eligible voter. So,
That, I think what the representative needs is whatever's printed as the voter list needs to be distributed so people can look at it, and if they're not on it, try to fix it in time.
Because you're gonna have people that shows up at that election, and if they're
so if it's that,
better get it settled before then.
The election board usually requests enrollment provide them a list so they can publish it in the newspaper. It's not given to the district reps.
Right.
and that will go out in July. Is it July that we sent it out? I think in the ordinance it says July 15th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you're gonna have we might have a situation similar to what, Council Tidwell ran into. If you wait till that length of time to post that. I mean, I'm just,
No, like she said, we've got to go by the ordinance.
I understand that, but I'm talking about the,
Yeah, and if it is that, and you are correct, they will run into that, but it's already been known that when that passed, to put them as inactive, so when you went back to your meeting, you could have told them, you know, the council just passed, so you're gonna be inactive.
And we have had calls checking.
Yeah, we have had received calls checking on their status.
I had actually posted something on Facebook on my board school district and asked people to contact the registration office to make sure that they were
And it's the simplest fix,
exclusive.
if you just call us,
Yeah,
she can check right there, she
Yeah.
just pull it up.
and if they're not, then you can, if it shows that they're, what is it, dual enrolled, I guess, but then that,
they go inactive.
they go inactive, but they don't have time to change to vote.
Well, if they find out now, if they call,
Well, that's not, it don't sound like it, because you have to have it according to what happened to her, you had to have
You're
it
talking
signed in
about
February.
them relinquishing down
Yeah.
their process.
You see the can of worms?
Yeah,
here,
because I mean,
there?
the thing is if we go off of their guidelines and we actually go by their court and what they say, then
You're looking
we
at
are
a
gonna
mess.
find people that are in trouble, you know,
Getting
because like I
rid of
said, look at what I had to do. That's the whole reason we don't have a dang, or we've had to get a new election committee is because of the thing that I did go through, and I did turn around and sue them, and now they all find it to be, they don't want to be in the same
You
situation,
know,
so.
and I understand, you know, that it's a bad situation. But, you know, we can't, as our enrollment, we can't tell them how to do their relinquishment
I
process.
think everybody understands that, but that's not what I'm trying to point out here. I'm pointing out that you're gonna have a list that goes out in July of eligible voters, and there's gonna be some people that say, hey, I didn't know I wasn't eligible. And they may not have got the memo from their district reps. And then you're gonna have people that saying, I didn't know I was on that list. You see what I mean? I think that's been discussed. So when they show up, you're gonna have a big mess here, because they're not gonna have time to run down and relinquish because of the time frame.
well,
It's gotta be done within 6 months or whatever it is, right? So
In
that
our-
had to be done
That's
in
the-
April.
Solution.
well, under the court decision from Representative Tidwell's case, the judge said, we don't look at what they do. If the election commission can't prove that they intentionally went and enrolled over there,
Right.
then you have to let them vote. So what we need to do is come up with an affidavit that they can sign that says, I did not intentionally enroll at C&O, and I don't consider myself enrolled at C&O. And under that court decision, that would be good enough to allow them to vote.
At the polls, when they show up.
Or they could do it before then.
Should do it before
But
then.
They
that
should do
goes
it.
against the
You want them to
ordinance.
get on the list
But that's-
before.
That's why I'm thinking you need to post that list before.
It'll go against the ordinances, and in enrollment, the list that we provide, we're going off of our ordinance. And until that's changed, I mean, that's the list we gotta provide. We can't make these people go in and relinquish the Turkey Nation.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking,
That's the piece.
They have ample time. There's a lot of people that 2 years election were inactive to vote. They
yeah,
had 2 years to go and get it straightened out.
yeah, and I'm only talking about.
I mean,
what the-
you've got to hold people responsible. We're
I'm only
adults.
talking about what the judge said. The judge said unless the election commission can prove that they intentionally enrolled in another tribe, then you have to let them vote. So that it could be done at the poll, they would have to sign an affidavit
Right then,
that
before
says,
they can vote.
under penalty of perjury, I state that I did not, and you could challenge those votes, somebody could challenge those votes later in court, but if it was a similar judge or decision, they would let those votes count. But it's not an enrollment issue, really,
That's right.
it's
It's
an
not your
election
fault.
voting
It's not your
issue.
fault.
Yeah.
So basically, it would be up to the election board to set that in motion, that when they go to the,
Yeah.
to the polling,
Yeah,
so that it's up to the election board to
right.
put their heads together and fix this.
They better be
Or,
notified.
or the election board can file a declaratory judgment case and ask the judge to tell them what to do. I mean, because there's confusion.
Right.
The
And if
council's
they do
already
it wrong,
approved
they're gonna
the
get sued.
election ordinance. Shouldn't that what we follow if the council said this is the election ordinance we're gonna use?
Not when part of it has been declared invalid by
You
the
gotta
board.
judge a decision, you gotta go by it.
Okay.
I'm just throwing that out to be better.
Can we go forward now?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right. Yes.
Okay, I done forgot.
Yeah, you was asking for. I seconded it.
I motion he said.
Approved her.
Okay, I'm sorry for, don't forget. And that was my enrollment report, number 6.
Can I ask a question real quick? Are we gonna, is there something gonna be done about this? We're sometimes good at talking about
Right.
something, but not following
That was
through.
night out
So
on
are we going to do something about this, what we're talking about here? Because it'll come back, and then we'll be saying, oh yeah, we talked about it.
Well, that's-
Yeah, it says, the election board gonna have to take this
Well, here,
by the,
yeah,
So
and
is
to
that-
answer your question, when the election board, when I was absent from the meeting, but when you all chose the selected people to be seated on the board, I sent a letter to inform them that they were selected and, went through the background checks and everything, so they know. I don't know if they're meeting or if they've tried to contact each other. I don't know any of that information.
I know whenever I was up here a few weeks ago on a Wednesday, what is her name? Springwater. Moynihan Springwater. She was up here kind of roaming around in the parking lot because she was looking for you. And at that point, I had tried to call you, and I think I did leave a message. She was looking for you for the reason being that she said they need to get together, but they wanted to speak with you. And I don't know if anybody, and she said she had tried to contact you a few times, but I mean.
Was it during this COVID thing?
Yes, so
Yeah, so
somebody
that's-
may want to reach out to them, or you may want to reach out to them, because I think that you as the secretary, they're kind of looking for some type of a guidance or go ahead or whatever, ready, set, go from you.
I got a call, I sent it out in an email to council that I hadn't received a call from Brenda Smith. And I told her, I said, I don't want to be accused of influencing the
Right,
election board. I
right.
said, you contact the AG or the secretary. She said they had received a packet, I guess you mailed them a
Yeah, I
packet.
mailed them.
She had received a packet, and I said, all I know, I said, you guys are about 70 or 80 years old, get together.
Can I make a suggestion? Anytime we get ready to do something in regards to, it's like I said before, I have a really difficult time getting a hold of a lot of constituents because their addresses are incorrect, and I have mailed out things, got them back, and I've got that list of the constituents that are exclusive and those that are dual enrolled. Long story short, anytime we communicate with the public and anytime we communicate with the constituents, I think we do need to go through our PR person, and that's Brittany, and let her get a hold of the newspapers, whatever, and print this to the public. I mean, we don't have anything to hide. And sometimes that's the only way some of my constituents get information about what we're doing. And, you know, I try to keep them on my phone list, to call them and to send them texts, whatever. But, I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I have a hard time communicating with the constituents in my district.
Right.
And maybe y'all
I think
have
we
a
all have
better
a challenge.
way of getting a hold of them than I do. And in regards to the meetings and stuff, Frankie can tell you the same thing. The meetings that we've had over towards Stillwell, you might have 3 or 4 people show up. And the meetings that we've had at Little Kansas, if you're lucky, you have 20 people that will show up. And I know Adeline has a large following right there in Jay, and she's been with them for a long, long time. And anyway, long story short, when we get ready to do something in regards to the election, the rules and regulations, whatever it might be, I think it would be a great idea if we could go through Brittany and have her to get a hold of the newspapers.
I understand what you're saying as far as Brittany, but the thing is I think that we need to ask her what her capabilities are first, because I know I have sent her emails and I've asked her, you know, could you do this or do that? And the response that I got back is, you know, kind of like, she is the media person and I'm not, so kind of let her make her choices as to what it is that she's going to publish and not publish, you know? I mean,
Okay,
it's gonna depend on her, you know?
okay, we will make a note of that and move forward,
I
okay?
actually sent her a text at like 8 o'clock in the evening, and she replied back and said, I'm not on working hours right now, please email me.
I know this is not following the agenda, but I kind of have an idea. I know we're going to meet on the 30th, but I'll just throw it out there. In regards to the monies that the tribe received due to the COVID deal, a good way to get updated addresses and stuff to come in at this time would be to prepare a economic package to those 18 and older, but the requirements would be to come in and update all your information and stuff and enrollment before your check is sent out to you. So from 18 to, you know, however many we have 18 and older, we could use that 24 million for the economic fall that some has lost their jobs.
Right.
So this money would in place, so you know if they're gonna get their money from the tribe, that, you know, because word's out there now that we've received this big chunk of change. So in order to help our, say our working class, I guess you say, are known as adults, 18 on out, you prepare a little economic package for them, but one requirement would be to update all their information in enrollment. Then you could have it. So right now from 18 to 90 something, we have a little over 3,000. So if you do a 1,000 a person,
Right.
then that's about $3 million out of that 24 million. But it would kill 2 birds with 1 stone. It would help them with their economic, and then would help our enrollment as an updated list.
Right.
Question,
See,
Secretary.
I was gonna suggest that also.
That's a great suggestion, but I want to ask a question. Those 3,000, though, those are exclusive.
Exclusive, yes, sir.
It pays to be exclusive.
And that's what I was gonna say, you know, now we're getting into a point of honoring your exclusive, those that have hung in through the long haul.
Yeah.
Now this
Of course.
economic package would benefit 2 things, updating your enrollment and also allowing monies to them that has gone through this COVID, because it's hit everyone. No one's exempt from this.
We've got a chance to give
Yeah.
back.
I was gonna suggest that.
Actually,
I got a chance to give back to the people.
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Actually, I looked at that, Joyce, I
At
looked
least
into it.
we're not gonna tell them that we're gonna get $50,000.
Okay, we've got some folks on the floor over here, if we can listen to
Actually, I've
them.
looked into that, I've contacted Amanda on that right there, and the actual true number of 18 to, and above is 3,064, and exclusive UKB members, and from 0 to 17 is only 322. So I didn't want to discuss all that on camera due to, we're giving away all our numbers of exclusive. But, you know, with that being said, you know, the adults have been affected, the kids have been affected also. There's kids that can't graduate, there's kids that can't do this, you know, so, you know, it's been a big impact on everyone. So with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to approve us a one-time disbursement of $1,500 to every exclusive UKB member 18 and above, and every exclusive child 0 to 17 disbursement one time of $500. That equals out to be $474 million.
I don't agree with that.
I mean, 4.7, I mean, 4.7, that's my fault, 4.7, that equals out to be $4.7 million. And it's just, that's less than 25% of the funds that we've received. And I think that's feasible and accountable, and that's what, so I would like to make that motion at this time.
I think we need to start looking at the long-term picture, because there's gonna be a second wave.
Yeah.
That second wave coming along, we need to put something aside for that rainy day, because the people that are affected the most are employees. A lot of them have had to go on unemployment, and in some places, you and I both know unemployment does not amount to very much. And this has changed the lifestyle for a lot of people. And granted, this did upset the apple cart for a lot of kids going to school, graduating. I mean, I have a niece that graduated. They had her graduation yesterday, and it was a personal family thing. But the other side to that is, it's just like working on a budget. You know, if I get that windfall $1,200, I gotta look down the road and see what's coming down the road before I spend it all today. We have to look at the needs.
Would you explain that again? Did you say the children also?
Yes, I said the children also
Will get how much?
500, and at with that right there, as it goes through, it's 4.7 million, which is less than a quarter of the funds that we received for the COVID relief, and it would go to directly for the assistance of what they have, you know, been affected by. You know, what more relief could you receive than, you know, than a stimulus, just like the federal government has given? You know, the federal government gave $1,200, but the UKB is able to give $1,500 to their adults and $500 to the children.
I think
And that right there, I mean, that's our job. These funds, if it wasn't for our people and it wasn't for the federal government and this whole situation that we've been through, the funds would not be there. So these funds were given to us for the people, so that apparently we have to spend it by December. So right there, that's little bit, almost a quarter of it gone right there. So when you say children, it benefits the people.
So when you say children, are you talking about babies also?
0 to 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, $500. That's 4.7 million, and that's feasible, reasonable, and that's nothing better than giving back to the people, and that's direct services, right, exactly to the people. The rest of it, which will be 19 million, a little over 19 million, the tribe can utilize it in services and be able to go back into the future development and preparation in taking precautions to prevent this. So we've been down for a long time. Our people hasn't received anything from us in a long time. This is our opportunity right now to give back to our people.
Well, I can understand that.
Hold on one second, I got something.
I made the motion and Charles seconded it.
Wait, we gotta have some discussion on this, because this is.
Okay, you have the floor.
Okay, the thing is I don't disagree with giving 18 and above, like what they recommended. I don't disagree with doing that at all. I do disagree with giving these 17 to 0 actual monies, for the reason being that the financial burden of all of this still falls on the parent.
Okay, hold on.
I understand
Hold on,
that
that's a
it's-
good point. Question. Is that 500 given right then and there, or is it set aside in a trust bearing account for later on?
We could look into that right there and see.
What the federal government did is they gave the checks for children to the parents.
Yeah.
So the money went to the parents on behalf of the children.
So there you have it.
And-
Could you give $2,000 for, exclusive members?
I was just gonna recommend, exclusivity to me is.
They could use that 500 for their children.
Exclusivity means.
Give them extra.
Yeah, I'm a Frankie, I don't think
If you want
$1,500,
2,000, I'm fine with that too.
I don't think $1,500 is enough for exclusivity myself.
You know, when we have long-term needs like education, kids that are graduating from high school, that are getting ready to go to college, the biggest majority of the people that have turned to C&O in my district have done so to get educational funds, because we don't have any.
So we have money now, let's put it in there.
So, well, that's what I'm saying. We need to put it into something that's going to work in the long run.
Exactly, and that's why we're coming back on the 30th, we're bringing those out
There you
there.
go. We need to move it.
I think that's what we need, and it's a good thing what you brought up, but I don't think we need to make motions
Right
now.
not at this
Let's come
time.
back on
I don't
the
think so
30th
either. I
and
think we
bring
need
it
to
in.
look
Got a
at it.
motion on the floor,
I
second.
strike this
Okay.
motion.
But
What's
see that we do that so often, it's a knee jerk thing.
Oh, I'm
We need
sorry.
to really
Right.
think about this. If we're coming back on the 30th with ideas, and that's a good idea, then he can bring that idea back up and we can do it at that time. To me, that makes more sense.
We're premature.
Papers back coming, okay?
Yeah,
Thank you for your comment, can we move forward now?
I'm
We're
sorry
gonna go
about
round and
that.
round in
I
circles here.
apologize, but
Well,
I
you've
was just
got
trying
a
to get
motion
you
and a
first.
second.
Right.
Can
Can we take
It's up to
that up or not?
the motion to withdraw.
Okay,
and
I'll
bring
do
it back.
that.
You have to vote on it or withdraw it.
Look at the needs
Okay.
first.
Okay, hey, the general says, the AG says vote on it or remove it, we're gonna, what?
We're gonna vote on it.
We're gonna vote on
Exactly.
Okay.
I haven't even voted on my enrollment
Yeah,
report
that's
yet.
what I'm saying.
it. I'm sorry?
I haven't even got to.
Yeah.
Well, do you mind waiting until after the, you want to wait until after, you want to, what's your motion?
I got a motion and a second, I just didn't get a call for the vote.
Come on,
I
guys.
apologize, Secretary.
You can tell we have not been together in a while.
Kind of rusty, huh?
Okay, this has nothing to do with,
You know, some of the biggest problems employees are having, they run out of sick
My
leave.
motion for my
And
enrollment.
a lot of them are not on admin leave. I don't know about here, but
I'm
maybe
gonna call for
some.
vote for my enrollment report. Eddie?
Yes, I'll do that.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Ellery?
Yes.
Kathleen?
Well,
Frankie?
Yes.
Sharon?
what are we voting on? I'm sorry.
The enrollment.
My enrollment report.
Her
Enrollment,
enrollment report.
enrollment.
Two members to join. And one
Two joined, one relinquished.
Enrollment?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, yes. I'm sorry.
Hello?
I'm sorry.
All right, I vote yes. Peggy?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Charles? Mary?
Yep.
Jeff?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, council, motion carries. Okay, now, instead of going into, continuing reports to council, we've got a motion on the floor, that came in from Jeff. And a second, who said that? Charles?
Would you, Frankie, would you like for me to increase it to 2,000
Well,
a person?
It would,
Right now.
it would make sense, but here's my deal. I mean, I'm all for what you're saying, every bit of it, I'm all for it. Why can't we set this until the next council meeting? That way somebody else might have a little bit extra to put on the table.
Right,
That
right
can
now.
sweeten the pot. We don't know.
We've already, we
We've already
know.
got it, we either.
Yeah.
we
We've already got
vote on it or-
Listen,
Yeah, yeah,
let's
yeah.
just wait.
Yeah. We've already got this, and we can sweeten the pot later on.
We're cooking
Yeah,
eggs, we ain't got
in
it.
December. We
Well,
can sweeten the pot again in December if we have funds. We can sweeten the pot and make it a second disbursement.
Yeah.
even.
I'm all
Right
for it,
now.
man. I ain't got nothing
There's an
against
opportunity where we get more.
Get it out.
Where we get more, and so, I mean, what better for us as, we ran for the people, we said we were gonna be voices
I
for the
understand all that.
people. And so now it's our chance to give back
We're
to the
making a
people.
quick decision.
It's not a quick decision though, you got the numbers right there, it's less than 25% of what we received to help our people. It's less than 25%.
Okay,
Please stop campaigning and let's vote.
okay, here we go.
Can I make a statement, please? I think it's about time you took charge of these meetings.
We're getting ready to. Thank you, sir. We're gonna vote.
Dick, I'll tell you what, I guarantee you.
I got you,
there was a
I got
time when you had to raise your hand, get up, and make your speech, whatever it was, and have it over with, and you did not get up later in the meeting to continue with the thing. It's not, you know, there's a resolution to that effect. Is that not correct, young lady? I tell you what, this thing looks like a law instead of a meeting. I'm sitting here looking at this and I can't believe what I'm seeing. I've belonged to this thing for around 17 or 18 years, and we're getting plumb out of hand, people.
Okay.
Chief, you're gonna have to take charge of these meetings. And shut these people up. If they're just talking to their head, tell them to sit down.
Thank you.
Damn, I tell you what.
Can we vote? All right, vote.
Okay. I'm gonna call for vote regarding the,
one-time disbursement.
disbursement of, 4.7 million. 4.5 to,
I've got it.
would you read that off, please?
4,757,000 total.
Okay, that is to go to support the 0 to 17 and the 8, or all exclusive travel tours. I will call for vote. Eddie?
Yes.
Jeannie?
No.
Ella May?
I've had 2 teenagers that had to quit their job. And so I'm gonna vote yes.
There you go, Ellen.
The only reason that I said no, and the reason that I did say no is because I believe that there's a better way to work this out and we can bring it in on the 30th with better understanding and know exactly how we're going to disperse them. I'm not saying that I'm voting no because I don't want any, I want everyone
Okay.
to get money, but I do not want us to just jump off the cliff here and not have any thought about what we're doing.
Okay, thank you. Continue.
Adeline?
I'm going to vote no.
Okay.
Frankie?
Yes.
Sharon?
No.
It is down to me, Joyce. I'm gonna vote yes. Peggy?
I'm gonna vote no, based on the same thing. We're coming back in May.
Yes.
And to discuss this, and if it's brought back up, which I'm sure if it goes down, I'm not against giving, this. I think we need to,
You just want
but, no.
Okay. Jamie?
When's this disbursement gonna be made?
Well, you have to allow time to come in.
I mean, the money's already in the
Yeah, the
treasury.
money's here, yes.
Are you gonna start cutting checks tomorrow? Monday?
We'll make it perfect, no doubt, within the next.
Well, the treasurer, you're in charge of the money, when did
Well,
we make
if it's
this?
in, we could start doing it.
You know,
If it's in.
I just think that, like Councilor Steele said, to me, exclusivity is worth a lot more money. I'm ashamed that we're only giving our exclusive people that stayed the course all these years, haven't jumped the fence, and run off down to CNO, we only want to give them $1,500. Now, he makes a point that we can do more later, but, I'm really.
Well, what we need to do is like Joyce said, come back on the 30th, figure something out.
Well, we're planning on coming back on that.
How are we going to
May 30th,
disperse
okay.
it?
Beg your pardon?
How are we going to disperse it?
And
Write everybody a check.
Just share.
There wasn't no discussion made of disbursement, just write everybody a check, I guess, is that what?
Okay, we've got to vote on.
I understand,
Let's
Chief,
go.
but I'm discussing, I can discuss before I vote.
Right. That's why we need to meet. next
Assistant.
week.
Assistant.
And,
I would like to add to you
So there was
that,
a better-
got to sit down.
I would like to also add to that right there to you, that we have to complete a survey.
I
Our
understand
people
all
have to
that.
come in and complete a survey, and what better to have our folks come in and
I understand all that
their
stuff,
document
that wasn't
than get the
discussed.
survey.
That wasn't discussed
Get
before
the
we
survey
make this
complete.
resolution. I'm in favor of a lot more money than $1,500 for our people. Because they have
I
had
think we
some,
can work it out better.
they've had some hardships here, we've got children going to go to college.
Yep, I have one of those.
You know, I'm just,
So she could use that money to
you
go to
know,
college. She's
you know
been
what,
accepted.
this is really,
Cayenne.
it's like,
They had to quit their job. Oh, she
this is
was-
kind of like, I saw a quote the other day, I'm gonna say this because I applied for it. Stalin plumped all the feathers out of a live chicken one time and turned it loose, and he told the people, he said, look, what's this? He started throwing some corn down there, and that chicken was suffering, but he started following that corn around. He said, that's an example of how you govern stupidity. Throw a little corn out there and they'll follow you around. Now, $1,500 is a lot of money for anybody that don't have any money. But to me, it's a disgrace that we're only going to give our people $1,500 jump up here, and that's like throwing a little corn out there. So, you know, if we can come back and give these exclusive people some add-on money, then I'm for that. I'm certainly not, I've been fighting in D.C. and everywhere else for our Katua people. When we jump up here and want to give these kids $500, that might fill your tank up about 4 or 5 times gas to go to college on. You know, and $1,500 for people that's suffering a lot more than that. I mean, for years, the people that are exclusive have stayed the course, they've rode for the brand, you know, and been here. They should be first at the tall trough, as far as I'm concerned. But $1,500 is very minimal. But I'm going to have to vote yes because I don't want to see nobody go hungry. But I'm very disappointed that was all that was mentioned. The amount. I'm very disappointed.
Having added to that, now, that's not it.
I don't need you to add nothing to my statement.
That's not it. That's not the end of it, because
I hope it's
there's
not.
other parts of this that we're gonna put together, and people will receive benefits as well. So,
So, hold on.
let's go on, let's vote.
Throw them some corn.
Okay.
They'll follow you around.
I just want to you know, we haven't worked this out all right. My thinking here is, you know, we do have a lot of, we're talking about taking care of the children also. We have a lot of exclusive members, and their children are CNO.
We've only got 300 over there, Jeff.
322.
Okay,
And you know,
They shouldn't have been rolling over there.
okay.
It's not our fault.
That's right. They made
yeah,
that
I know
choice.
that they're,
It's not our fault.
I understand exactly what you say. I understand that, 100%.
Blame the parents.
That's the choice they
We're
made.
voting.
I need to go back, but you voted yes, correct?
Yeah, yes, but
Charles,
it's disgrace.
Barry,
I don't even know what the public is. You wagging around and I got lost.
Are we gonna give the people
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Jeff.
Yes.
Can I change my
This
vote?
thing's completely out of hand, people.
God bless everybody and continue
I mean,
strong,
I don't want it to look like
Continue
I don't
strong.
want to give everyone money. I
Well,
don't
see,
want to give everyone
that's
money.
the thing, that's what's gonna happen, is when, the only reason I voted no is because I wanna wait to see.
Right, I think that we could work it out better.
Well, that's the thing,
That's
so I'm
the
leaving my
reason.
vote as no, and if, you know, I'm not gonna change it,
Right,
because I
I'll
think, you know,
stand.
people, because I
admire
know
you.
they're
I'm
gonna
gonna
stay
stand
there,
my ground,
whether
and
I
I'll
change
stand
it
my
or
ground.
not.
Okay, we're getting out of hand here. We're gonna move on. Thank you for your comments. That was tremendous. Is that not?
When you gonna?
Charles, when did you vote?
Checks?
Yes.
Charlie voted yes.
Now that, I'm looking at the,
Soon as possible.
looking at the vote count, this motion carries. Now you gotta go back into part B and define when the disbursement will take place.
I thought that was carried out immediately.
as possible.
As soon as possible.
So are you
She's got
going,
money, I will get it started.
are you gonna allow us to request that they update their information though?
Well, yeah, they need to, I think they probably need to come in and pick up their checks so they can give you their new information. You don't wanna mail checks to bad addresses.
We have to go back on that because when the check is printed, it may be their way back address. You see what I'm saying?
That, yeah.
They have to fill out that first. That means an updated address.
So you may have people in Bartlesville that can't get
You
here.
may have to call all the exclusive members. and
I-
give
Oh,
you
they're
that.
gonna see this.
We don't have their names and addresses.
We will send out the change of address forms to you guys. If there's a survey or whatever that you wanna do, we'll attach that
Hey,
too.
one at a time.
That way you guys can send it
May I
into
ask
enrollment.
the representative to speak on behalf of the enrollment issue?
We will send out the change of address forms to, which all of you should have it, cause I put that in the packet when everyone first came in. But we'll send that out, and if there's gonna be a survey, you said, and I know Jenny, you had mentioned a kid getting, that's Turkey Nation. Well, no, that won't be the case, because on that survey, whoever's gonna prepare that, I would like if they're Katua, and we will check to see if they're Katua.
Okay.
It'd be like a composite of your household.
Yeah.
Will you post
I
that
just
list
thinking we could, I just
somewhere
thinking we
where
could
the
have worked
council
this
can
out.
see it?
I don't
Okay,
disagree.
the
Verify.
exclusive list?
The thing-
Yeah, but,
You
I
know,
mean, that needs to be verified, we're gonna start handing money out, I think it needs to be
I'm
exclusive.
not thinking everything through.
That's
There's
what the
steps.
whole act
You gotta
was.
go through.
Yes,
steps.
Evelyn?
I'd like to make an application, you know, that survey form, when they come to my house or to talk to me, I'll have it ready and they can fill it out and I'll give it to Caleb every day that he comes to work.
Okay, since, as a consensus, I will address for a consensus of the council to have the registrar prepare that packet for you. She can get all that out to all the council in order to send out to your constituents. Is that okay? Is all in agreement to me to, or for Amanda to do that?
Well, I'd do both. I would have Amanda mail it, send them out as much as you can, and also give them to the representatives, and put it in the paper, just to make sure everybody knows.
Give us all.
So we'll go back to Sharon's point, as, once we prepare these and stuff, she can send those to Brittany, and she can post those as well.
Some
to
more
give you all
paper now, because I can make them at my house. I can make copies.
So what we're gonna do is go ahead and, include media in this, so she can get those on, okay? Okay, but we're gonna go back. Jeff, your motion did carry.
Chief,
Yes, ma'am,
can I ask you a question?
please.
Clarify the amount again that the motion carried, because we threw some numbers around here. What was it?
I'm understanding,
4 million, 7
No,
for each member.
Oh, the 1,500 per exclusive, 18 and above.
Okay, and did we say anything about 0 to
And then
17?
0 to 17 is 500.
Okay, so that's what was approved.
Okay, that answer that?
Thank you.
So
Okay.
it was.
If there's not anything else, we're gonna go on, we have, I think on the,
What was the?
item 6 is tax report. I guess that's a tax report.
yeah, Sheila,
0 to 17.
through this COVID deal, Sheila has been absent from the tag office because she had just went through a major surgery, just like a week before this COVID pandemic set in, so she's been away. I've had Jamie Dick come in, so Sheila was supposed to, she's been coming in, but she's not attending the public. But she was supposed to come in yesterday to prepare this for me, but she had a bad headache. So once she can come in Wednesday, or if I can get a report from her through the week, I can mail it out to you. Email and mail, because some of you are, it's a hit and miss on the postal. So, but at this time, I'd ask you just to table my report until I can address it later.
Motion table.
Second.
You second? Okay, Frank?
Can I ask a quick question, please? Remember, sometime back when you remember, and I think we have discussed this further, it just kind of like escaped my mind. If, about the veterans tax, were we able to find a way for the veterans to be able to register more?
Yeah, that was what.
Yeah, we did discuss that in another meeting,
Yeah,
did we not?
and I brought that to the tax commission. So it still follows the veteran and the spouse or the significant other for the discounted tags at $15. But if they want to continue to get another vehicle tag with the veteran plate, it's at regular rate.
Okay.
So,
I just want to make sure that they
Yeah.
still get their veterans tags, because it was limited to what, 2?
yeah,
Yeah.
so you can still get a veteran plate, but you don't get the discount. It's at a regular rate. Not to write like you. When he does my position, his is hard to read, and I'm looking at mine, I said, I'm about to write just like he does. So, okay, I'll call to table my tax report.
No, I'm good.
Eddie,
Yes.
Jeannie,
Yes.
Let me bring some water.
Elmaine,
I'm sorry.
table my tax report.
Yes.
No water.
You want water?
Yeah.
I brought water, did I bring it in?
No.
I
I left it at the front door.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adeline,
Yes.
Frankie,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yep.
I vote yes. Katie,
Yes.
Yes.
Jamie, Charles,
Yes.
Barry,
Good.
Jeff.
Yes.
Okay, Chief Counsel, the table of report carries.
Okay, thank you, council. Okay, next item on the agenda, financial report, Treasurer Lurch.
Okay. On May the 6th, well, even before that, I emailed Laura to send out on the emails. I know you don't have one, a financial report on paper, but it did come in on your email. On May the 6th, Laura sent it out, and I have mine here. And for April, there was 28,000 that came in, and we spent 69,000. 69,385. On May the 6th, if you want to look that up. And for the month, the total amount, we're in a deficit of $82,254.
That's been good.
Yep.
And that's okay, that's all right.
82,000 what?
$82,254.06 for the year.
That's a yearly total?
No, I'm sorry. We're in a deficit on that month of April, but for the year, it's $387,835.33.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the financial report.
Are you gonna,
Yes, ma'am.
are you gonna get paper copies? Because I didn't get that email.
I have to get them from Laura.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you can either have her to email me and I can.
Okay,
Copy
okay.
something,
Mail
I
it.
didn't get.
All right.
Or mail it or whatever.
Okay, I'll tell her to mail.
It was on the 6th, right?
Yeah.
I tell you that.
Or I could go get them from her and then bring them back on the 30th.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Said, I have a question. You know, when I looked over that and I was reading through there and everything, yeah, we've got some deficit in there, but I thought we approved space allocations to come back into play, and I didn't see where that was listed. There was,
Well, I remember her telling me that some of them are paying for a space allocation and some are not. But I didn't write down who was and who was not.
but it didn't show anywhere where that was listed. Is that rental,
That's rental, yeah,
up on top, something about rental?
that same thing as the rental space,
Okay.
So we still have some directors that are not paying space
are not
allocation.
paying, yeah,
So we have, okay, that's not gonna be my question, so we do have people that's not paying.
yeah.
And they haven't been paying since what, was it October?
But have they paid?
I think it's,
If they're not paying space allocation, though, they're paying indirect costs.
right.
Yeah.
And see, that was the situation when that lady came. I don't remember her name. And that was the situation that came up. She said, if you're paying IBC, then you shouldn't be paying space allocation.
You can.
So that was a total
But
confusion
you don't
there.
pay for the same tank, you don't buy the same tank with the same money. Yes, ma'am?
Do you remember that time we met up there and, our accounting person came and she had a list of the directors or the departments that wasn't paying something? And she was supposed to get with them, did she not?
I don't think so.
Goes back to what you said a while ago, we talked about it.
We
but
talked
don't
about
do it.
things, but.
I wanna say that they were, well, the thing is I wanna say that they were all billed, okay? They were all billed, but as for whether or not everybody has paid their bills is another question. And that's something that's not brought back to our attention as to whether we know or we don't know.
Who makes them pay their bills?
Well, she sends them out the bills, and she's the one billing them, so they should be paying her. It should be going into the space allocation that goes into gen fund.
Yes.
It should be going right back directly into our gen fund.
So if they don't wanna pay it, they don't have to pay it.
I don't think there's anybody really enforcing it. I don't think that there's a space allocation police force that is making them do it, or, you know, we don't have,
Didn't we ask,
Supposed to sign a memo to give it.
yeah, the letter went out, when there's supposed to be an email go out referencing our meeting and that they were to pay.
That's what I
That's
thought.
that's what I know.
Yeah.
I never seen the actual email go out to say, you know, council, and hit on this.
But I need to reiterate that.
That email went directly to the accountant, and that was it. That's where she requested.
Accounting just sent a bill to the directors, I believe.
Right.
That's all she did.
So we'll go forward.
So we don't know who's paid, who hasn't paid, how much is owed, we don't know any of that.
We'll follow up on
But we need to follow up on that and find out.
So with that being said, so that means the treasurer needs to, is it at the request for the treasurer to contact Laura and have her send out a reminder of
I could do that,
Yeah.
I
of
could do that.
space allocation?
I don't remember what meeting it was, what day, it had to be before
It
March.
was like January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was actually LMA's call of just a financial review
Yeah.
of all the finances.
Laura
Yeah.
was there. Yeah. She was one that's telling us right.
Yeah, I think that we had like a, was it not like a non-official meeting that we
Yeah,
all
it's
got
just,
together?
just a review of the
Yeah.
Yes.
finances.
Yeah.
Okay.
it. Okay, let's either accept it or.
Oh, all those in favor of the, I believe we're going back to March, financials, raise your right hand of acceptance. Okay, all in, council has accepted by consensus. Okay,
Okay, now we have, corporate board, Mr. Hendricks, are you here?
Chief, they're out there, they requested that he stay out there. There's a couple of items on the agenda that's been added concerning the corporate board. And I think everybody saw the email where I requested the corporate board and our council to come and address these items. I think if it pleases the council, we can go ahead and address them right now, and then those people could leave and we can get this over with and then move on, if that's okay.
Added to the, report as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
is that fine?
raise your right hand and all those accepting the change.
Eddie and I are on the corporate board, so we're here, obviously.
Okay,
Accepting what now? I'm sorry.
ready to go ahead and take on the nature of the,
Are we gonna cover the report of it first? Can we at least cover
on
the
the
report?
corporate board report first?
Well, combination, I mean, yeah, it looks like a
Because
very.
we really only need one at a time in here, we don't need the whole corporate.
Well, that's-
in here at a time.
If we can, I tell you what, can we go over the report first, and then come back after that
Yeah.
report?
Yeah, and they go,
Okay,
Just bring Randall in, the executive director, and then we'll bring the corporate board in here for the rest of
We
the.
don't need the whole corporate report in here, we're social distancing.
Yeah, so maybe we can move those together.
That's what my request was, and then let people that are going home. Right.
pass something out, Joyce?
No,
Do we have a copy of the agenda? This updated agenda? Do you have a copy?
I just.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, ma'am. They have both.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Frankie.
I don't know.
Really? After May 1st, after May 1st, they quit paying you guys?
Put you in the hot seat.
I'm trying to hard. My grandson. I appreciate all of our work you guys put into that.
Yeah.
Hold it, DK, you know.
Put a bright light on it, turn out the lights.
You're in my district. You're in my district.
No, I'm in Talcott.
You're in here?
Talcott.
I'm in California.
I'll give you some money if you want to cut up the rest of that wood.
It's probably,
My aunt works at CNI,
but
and
did you
they
email
just now
that?
got
I
their
didn't.
unemployment
I didn't.
set up, so they won't get a
Okay.
payment
Will you
until
just
next
email
week.
that?
Yeah, and you can have my report.
All right, thank you.
We have the corporate report in front of you. I compiled both months into one report, but I did separate them. For the, let's go to the April 9th meeting. We met on the 9th. All members present, as well as myself. We didn't have any business proposals. The pandemic has slowed things down, just like it has for the tribal side. We had discussion about the brew house project. Update there is we tore out some concrete and some curbs for the landscaping. The city doesn't want parking on the highway side, so we're gonna flatten that out, pass some shrubs and some bushes, and the city has regulations on what we can and can't put there. Lake Region will be setting a new pole transformer, and they will eliminate the remaining power lines that string across going to the south side from the north to the south.
Can I say something about the transformer issue out there? Here's the new pole there, on this side there, you see where all that old wiring and stuff goes in, just right out the the highway. That's all gonna be removed, and we're gonna put a in-ground transformer there. There was, some discussions made with the court board. We're gonna use a transformer that's already existing over there by the casino, that old casino transformer, because it's big enough to, it's actually bigger than what we need for the brew house. But we decided instead of buying a new one that was gonna cost us several $1,000s, just utilize that one. So it's better to have more power and not need it, is to have a need later on and not have big enough power. Now, we know that after we get through with our, course and everything, we're eventually gonna get that land in trust. So just letting you all kind of know ahead of time, the reason why we want to use that transformer is because we've got a room for about 150 machines in that building. So we'll have plenty of power when that day comes. Is that okay? That's what I want to point out about the transformer there. So we're not really having to buy one.
So
We're
there-
utilize that one already, we've got.
Yeah, so that by utilizing that one, I mean, it's not gonna like,
We want
because
it.
of the location it's in, it's
No,
gonna be
no,
okay
no,
for the building,
no.
everything is
No, it's
gonna
gonna
work
be
out.
more than sufficient for what we opened
Yeah.
up with, but down the road, we can put 150 machines in there.
Right.
And we'll have plenty of electricity on that transformer.
Yeah, the city's point of view is they say it's not quite as efficient as if you had a smaller transformer working at capacity, but they also want to charge us $14,000.
Yeah.
Or new one.
We're fine, so that's why we'll do that. Yeah.
What's the estimated date on the opening here on this?
We will be done with construction by the middle of next month. We'll start moving things in.
And then also, the assistant chief is referring to putting machines in there. To my understanding, that office or that building there wasn't like included, is that included in the 2.3 for the, I thought it was just the casino
yeah,
and
you're right.
part of the thing, so that's not even gonna be in trust if we do get it in trust. That area is not gonna even be in
Well,
trust.
There's some,
So how are we gonna go about getting
I'm
casino
not a
games in
lawyer,
there?
I'm not a lawyer, but the legal, there's kind of a continuance, or what's the court, like if this is trust and this is adjoining. to it.
Adjacent. yeah.
Adjacent, that's the word I'm looking
Yeah.
for. There's an opportunity that we can do. So
It's
we-
easier to get the land into trust, basically.
We're preparing for the future there, so if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, and with the clinic in Tulsa, the KCTS clinic, we've been working with Oklahoma Healthcare Authority and IHS. They've been voiding out billing. What's happened is that we were awarded in January, and we were finally able to, got to go ahead and start billing right around April, so late March. So they allowed us to go back and void everything we've done up to January and re-enter it in the Oklahoma Healthcare Authority's portal, and that would eliminate, we would go back and retro bill and get the billing at a higher rate. So
How's that going? Good.
it's going good. They've got all that coming in, and we're able to bill now. There was a lot of bugs we had to work out in IHS and Oklahoma Healthcare Authority.
How long has that been happening?
Since about late March, early April.
So you're saying you're back billing?
We're back billing, yeah.
Since January, for
Mhm.
January?
January 1,
Good.
that's right.
For Medicaid?
Yeah, for IHS, the
Yeah.
increased rate,
Good.
yeah.
So what is your OMB rate?
Hmm?
Your OMB rate?
We started out at 455 and they've raised it to 479.
That's a great thing for us there.
I did visit over there the other day, I called.
What'd you think?
Yeah, you were saying your name to me.
What'd you think about it?
I actually.
They give you a tour?
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, I
Yeah,
know.
very good
they
people
had-
over there.
Yeah,
We had a
yeah,
meeting-
really, really nice people,
Had a meeting over there yesterday with all of them. There's been some, rumors and stuff, so we,
Yeah.
the new director putting all that to ease and everything. So
yeah,
we're
but she,
very good team, very good.
they're pretty nice people, I would say, we'll see, and one thing that had even got me wanting to stop over there was that I travel those roads all the time over there. I don't normally go that way, there's been a few times I've had to go that way because of construction, and I noticed a sign.
Yeah,
I noticed a sign, and I thought, oh my gosh, did they shut it down, and we just didn't know?
Wind blew.
Yeah, so that's why I started thinking, maybe I need to check on this or whatever, and I called, and I left a message, Director Jim Fight called me back, and, they give me a little tour. I mean, what they've got going on is really good. The building itself concerns me a little bit. I mean, I think that the building really needs some
Yeah, we have plans to,
updates,
there's a lot of things that need to be repaired.
right
Walls
there.
moved.
I know one thing that I don't know if I should say this on camera, but their security system for their vault where they keep their drugs and stuff is out. It needs to be repaired immediately.
And another thing while I was there yesterday also was to bring in some IT people, just to get some bids and make sure we got everything we need going on there.
Apparently they have black mold up there.
They think they do.
Yeah.
That's been
Gotta get
tested.
that taken care of.
Yeah, that's been tested.
The cracks in the foundation.
Those are both in there.
That's what we need to get.
Yeah, we bought that
Get some
building, and
improvements.
we bought that building, I'll tell you what, I might as well hand that out to everybody right now, since we're talking about KCTS. I got a report here that, I don't know if anybody wants one, I don't know. I got about 6 reports here from, February 2017, when, Shelby Walford was the treasurer on the corporate board. We put this together whenever the council overthrew the corporate board in January 2017, you remember that, and we reinstated. We put together a real good report right here for everybody, talking about KCTS and a couple of things. Anybody wants a copy of it, I'd be glad to let you have it right here, give you a good explanation. And then, the building was in, how we purchased it in 2006 and 7, but anyway, we'll get into that later.
And at the same time, when the pandemic hit, we were able to do counseling, group and individuals over Zoom, over the telephone,
Yeah.
because they have to lower their standards.
Yeah.
And so they've been making sure people are being seen and getting the services they need. They closed off the lobby, so no one comes in, and they have been able to keep up with all the demand by doing that. And let's see, toward the end, it's not in the report, but while I'm on KCS, I'll talk about the Tahlequah clinic. It's about to open. I would say it's officially open because Oklahoma Healthcare Authority has waived the site visit, which is what we've been waiting on. They have to come and tour the building, but since the pandemic, they're not going out and visiting places, so they waived that. We're able to operate, and we're not under DMH. We don't have to have we're not expanding on DMH. We're just, because of our 638, we are operating under IHS and the Oklahoma Healthcare Authority.
So the healthcare authority,
Have you contacted IHS and let Barbara Rowland know
Yeah.
that you?
oh yeah.
They recommend,
They
and
recommend.
AMH themselves recommend we do this because of the past, what happened in the past with KCTS.
And
We need to be separate.
And where was the advertisements for these positions to be filled?
Indeed.
Indeed, how long were they out there?
About 3 weeks.
Yeah, I requested the background checks and everything on these employees.
Our attorney will address that.
Yeah, and I've yet to see them, and, no.
We're gonna cover that here, just let's go ahead and move forward here, and we'll get all that covered here just shortly.
Number 4, we were awarded on April 20th a Samson grant for $500,000, which focuses on COVID-19 outreach. It's focused on Native Americans in hard-to-reach places because most of us are in a rural area. So we're utilizing, we have strategic plans to go out into communities in various ways. We're even working with local law enforcement to have maybe tablets available, so if there's any needs, they can come and utilize those. We're going to be talking to schools and drug courts and various ways to get out there to people. Now moving to the May 1st meeting, all members present, as well as myself, we didn't have any business proposals to speak of. We had a phone conference during that month with the Port of Muskogee about some projects coming up. I mentioned these, I think the last meeting we had gave me an update on what was going on. That's stopped until recently, so there's new movement. We're regaining what we've been doing, so I wanted to let you know about that. The construction projects out there, they're going to be in 3 phases. Phase 1 will be at the 3 River Center, and that's going to be about $1.5 million of work, mostly dirt work and concrete. They expect the bid to be coming out very soon. The second phase would be a project to raise elevation of the railroad tracks. It's a major dirt work project, and hopefully they will avoid any future flooding, which they've never seen flooding like that, the last flood we had, so they have to take measures to assume that's going to happen again. Third phase will be around the Muskogee water treatment plant and the bat pit. I think it's a museum or something out there. It's a submarine or warship. But that's going to be to erect berms and maybe get the water from coming in there. We had the board held a phone conference with Gail Bassett of Lumen. Lumen specializes in government IT contracts, who proposed in helping us acquire a transportation grant for the clinic, where we'll be able to increase our number of patients by going and getting them, bringing them to the center, taking them home, or if they need to go to an appointment as far off as, I don't remember the radius, but we're not limited to, I think, 30 miles, 35 miles, like everyone else. So we can go further and help people who are in rural areas get treatment. So that's basically all that's in the report right there. Is there any questions?
Did you send out the agenda or the minute meetings to anyone?
The agenda? No, I didn't. That's, I should have done that. The Corporate Board Act states the secretary has to do that, and we don't have one right now. But
You guys don't
until,
have a signature?
Now, that position is vacant since, we don't have, we haven't elected anybody on that board that wants to take that position yet, so we've just been kind of waiting for somebody.
So who did it?
Onlay was the secretary before, Onlay Locust, when she was on the court board. She was all
Right.
secretary.
I
Did a
thought
great
she was
job.
replaced
She
with
did
Eddie.
a great job.
Was she not replaced with Eddie?
Well, she was placed on the board with Eddie, but not as a secretary. I don't know if he wants to.
I thought that he took her position whenever he nominated
I
himself.
believe the corporate board itself has to name their
Oh,
officers.
okay.
Access, yeah, the board,
So-
the corporate board would make an offer.
How many board members do you guys have?
5.
and I'll be happy to take over that responsibility earlier on until we feel that. And I should.
So you guys don't have a secretary?
Oh, yeah, no.
There is no secretary?
Not a secretary at the moment, it's vacant. Right there on that paper. Vacant secretary. Would you like to serve as a secretary?
Okay,
Secretary is something I am not. believe
So
me.
Randall, did y'all so you think?
No, they haven't done the engineering yet. We're waiting on the engineering to be sent out. They were gonna bid those,
So you didn't.
We've got a very good rapport with the Port Authority over there. They're wanting KCI to be involved. They've demonstrated that. The director over there, we've got a good relationship with them, so they're looking forward to the KCI maybe to bid some of that, because they want a local tribal construction company, and since we're the only one right here local that's got a construction company, it's, looks like it might be a pretty chance we get there.
Good, good. Okay, also on the brew house, when will it be open?
We're going to finish construction middle of next month.
Has
We'll start
anybody-
moving everything in there.
So when will it be open?
I know
What is
that,
your- What is your expected opening date?
Well, you know, based on the setbacks we've had, it's been hard for me to formulate a specific date.
Okay.
But I foresee that the construction part is the main thing that's going to be having setbacks. So we're so close as to, I can confidently say that they're not going to stop. So after that, you'll be filling it,
I
bringing
think-
furniture, fixtures and things like that. So I can safely say.
If anybody hasn't been there, I know the secretary and the treasurer both
Talking about
stopped
the
and took a look. We took a look at it. She was with me. We toured the facility out there.
The USS?
I don't know if you went and looked
The
at
USS?
the show the behavior.
Have I what?
The USS, mhm.
Don't you hear that?
The USS.
Oh, yeah, not too long ago I did, yep. But I used to go to all the meetings until last
Well,
couple
this,
months.
here's stop a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
But I urge anybody to stop by and take a look at it.
It looks nice,
Go
Frank.
inside and take a look at what's happening down there. All that wood came, that's been cut right out here in this old, these old pecan trees out here. They were cut down and carried over and milled and everything, so it, you know, it's pretty interesting to take a look at that. It's kind of
Yeah.
unique.
It really looks good, actually, if anybody's been in there. It looks
I've been down
good.
there and looked at it. It
Come
does
Yeah.
look good.
What's Okay, we're starting to get everybody talking about, before we go any further, looking at this sheet that has a couple more businesses on there, the Sugar Village and RV Park. When is that open? When are we getting ready for that?
We're technically open for the RV park today. Everyone else is opening today for the 15th, yesterday.
Okay.
So the river's up, so we're not floating. It's not safe to do so.
What about the Sequoia signs?
That's the billboard, that's the LSE, the billboards fell under.
Also, we
When
got
is
an
that?
announcement, got an announcement to make about the shoulder village there. I was going to add on that. We've got a council lady and a corporate board member that's has taken on and wanting to open up the old shoulder restaurant. So we're pretty excited about that. And the little store, we tried to do a little store there last year. It just didn't, you know, we didn't have no marketing money. We didn't have anything like that. So Eldine and Sharon has agreed to take on the challenge of opening up the old restaurant, putting the restaurant back in there. So
Oh,
used to be Shoulder Village Restaurant, so it's been out there. So I'm kind of proud to announce that. That could be something that could bring in revenue through the wintertime. See, because you know, the float trips and everything stops in the wintertime. So we got the facility there, and I think it's a great idea. So I'm kind of glad, kind of excited to announce that they're preparing right now everything to get ready to go there.
What did our profit outlook look like last year from the first opening of first year?
We made, I'd say roughly $5,000 after we paid employees and things like that. So not much, but it's the first year.
So it did come out to the good?
It did.
It did come out to the good.
But in looking at that too, though, you have to look at, you know, the budget we spent on it. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
it made money itself, but we're still not out of that hole what we wanted it to get. So
Did y'all have the, like the grills and things from the casino? Are y'all gonna put them in there?
in the brew pub,
they're
Yes.
already in
Yeah,
there.
talking about the kitchen.
They're in there.
Yeah. It's already sitting in there.
They're in there.
We just haven't got it hooked up yet and everything.
So, what about the sign? When is it gonna be up and running?
Well, there's still some problems with the city on the sign right now, so we're working through those variances. They're not willing to give us a variance. I think I've talked about this before. We've got some, you know, our adversaries down south, I'll just, you know, say that's against us getting in variance, they're kind of on the city council, and, you probably know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Well, if they're on the city council, I'm sure, it's not down south, but anyway.
Well, they're influenced, you know what I'm talking about, chief, they're influenced by your buddies down there. You know, your friends over there. They got the influence over there.
Tell me who they are.
Oh, Chuck Hoskins and all, the chief, and they're influencing that city council down there, and you know
Wow, I
that.
didn't know that. Did y'all know that?
Bill John Baker,
You know, we had an opportunity to
Probably
fix
Joe
that a
Bird.
couple months ago.
who else?
What
Joe
happened?
Bird,
We had,
Joe Bird, yeah.
scheduled a meeting to meet with them for the variance again,
Yeah.
and
And
they
they canceled it
us that.
because of this.
Yeah, with the no, but they're not seeing anyone, so we're still on the,
So actually, how much money are we losing by not being able to advertise on there and paying for that sign to be up there? Electricity and paying the company that is providing.
Oh, we're allowed to
that
advertise, we're allowed to
we're just
advertise
paying
our
the
stuff.
ledger.
So you're allowed to advertise, but ever
Advertise
since
our own-
for the whole
our
year,
own
it's
stuff.
been nothing but just the same thing over and over?
We can't
Ever since
advertise
it's been
off
up.
premise.
That's what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
so how, yeah, we're just
Off premise
advertising our own
advertising.
stuff, we're not able to go out and make money off of it. So how much money are we actually losing a month
We're
by
only using
keeping that sign up
utilities,
and everything?
electric. Yeah, we're not
And
paying.
how much are
anything.
we paying the company to control that right there
We're
and
not paying
monitor it?
anything.
Nothing.
The contract says that they're gonna be charging us fees for having that sign maintenance and everything like that, so.
Yeah, if you read further, it says only when, we're
So,
making anything off of it.
so they're just taking all the costs on it, they're eating all the costs right now?
Yeah, there's no cost except for electricity.
So,
Right.
Did you notice them other signs that said across the road there by Reason? It displays the same thing over and over also. Just,
yeah, but I'm just saying it's displaying the same thing, it's displaying the same thing, I'm just saying that it's, if we could advertise, then why ain't we advertising something on there to make money? That's what I'm saying.
when it be corrected.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I have asked was that, let's change it up a little bit, and thank you nurses, thank you, Ed,
We're gonna put on some missing,
Yeah.
some missing women, there's a lot of missing natives.
whatever, yes.
I've been in touch with the Cheyenne Arapaho lady, it's a friend of mine, and she's gonna send us some pictures of these missing native ladies, we're gonna start running those up there, trying to help some of that stuff. And we'll probably get in trouble over that, but it's a charity thing, so I'm sure we'll get calls.
Yeah. Follow the holidays, and all of those things and change it up, let's do that.
Okay.
Okay. Getting back to this, when I see this, it says bank balances, it says debit balance, now, correct me if I'm wrong, does that mean debits and credits? Credits is cash coming in, and debits is what we owe, right?
No, this is the balance to the good. This is,
That's what we owe.
no, those aren't,
Okay? That's what I said, debits and credits, and when I said debit, that means,
that is confusing, and I'll double check that for you.
yeah.
I will.
I was gonna say, my goodness, one, four, wow.
Yeah, you're welcome to come to the accounting office, and Lacey will be out to show you these things.
Okay.
And she's better explaining them than I am, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Because debit does mean that you owe something, I think.
But in the county world, I don't know, you know, they have ledgers and they adjust.
Credit is where
Yeah.
it's
So
yours.
I can't, I'm not too certain to answer that.
Okay. Under, corporate board statement of revenues and expenditure report. I see superior revenue, superior funding, indirect revenue. Where's the treatment center revenue coming in?
She files that in a different, sort of category. What generally asks is what's going on with corporate board in and out. But that IHS money is, until we figure out exactly what we can do with it, because we don't know where to categorize it as of yet. But we can have actual amounts, what we received in there. We can have a report for you guys for that also.
You talking about a line item for IHS?
Yeah.
Okay, that might be.
Because that's not showing up on that. Right there. Then the KCT, the construction Where's that show?
That would be under, let's see. The reason why we're not putting KCI on here right now is they have been solely directed to the brew house. So we're not paying them to do the brew house for us, they're saving us money by expanding resources toward it.
How we paying?
They were paying them, that'll come out of contract services, which will be a different report.
So
You
that's.
see that under expenditures, yeah, contract services. That's not only them, there's,
Contract services is $7,600, that's KCI.
that's KCI's in there too, yeah. There's other, couple other things in there too.
Does their contract?
Any contract labor we have, that's where that's gonna show.
Still don't see anywhere where you're paying the tribe anything, so help me out with that. Where are we at?
We borrowed from Superior a lot of money for each of the projects we have going, especially KCPS, it's still in the hole. If you look at the entire picture, with what we received, I think this just, I don't have numbers from me, but from last I remember, we're still 500 in the negative because of what we've dumped into it monthly over the last, what, 2 years or so?
Well, it's been longer than that.
Put in what again?
About 40,
KCPS, keeping that going all this time.
40,000 a month close to it, 30, in the 30s every month, you know. Up there for 2.5 years.
Yeah, the court board act states that we will distribute a profit, I believe it's a 70-30 split, due at the end of the year of any profits that we have generated that's excess of what we need to put back into the business. And the attorney will, she's gonna bring that up also.
It also says quarterly or annual, whichever the tribal council agrees on.
That's true.
Okay. Well, we can change that word, don't worry about that. It's all it is. Any questions?
Okay, let's go ahead and address these other issues. There's items on here right now.
Hold it.
Oh,
Okay, since we now have the contract and everything for us to be able to bill for Medicaid, you guys said that you have been doing back billing since January, correct?
IHS.
Going back to January.
What did I say?
Medicaid.
No, okay, well, but you guys get to charge Medicaid.
We've always
correct?
been charging Medicaid, but
Yeah.
that's the only thing that's been.
But you guys have been doing the back billing, and that's been since January.
We can go back as far as January, yes.
Okay.
You know, can't go
So you
back.
have the new OMB rates, correct? So what are you guys making, what kind of profit are you guys making there at the treatment center in Tulsa currently?
Well, currently, they've been working on the back billing, as of April.
What profit are you making at the center currently? I'm not concerned about the back billing, I mean,
Just what
you
number?
guys got what? 750,000
Well, that's
from
what,
your back
that's,
billing?
no.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I
Yes.
got, the
Okay,
over
but
7.
my question is, what are you currently, on a monthly basis, what are you currently gaining at the treatment center?
I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but I can tell you that you take all our expenses, payroll out of that per month, and you have to hold back 40% of that because it's a reimbursement to Medicaid for non-natives. We only have 6 to 7 natives up there that we can bill the exclusive rate. So what happens is we bill the entire rate, and then every quarter Medicaid comes back and says, here's the reimbursement of all the non-natives you have, all the billing you've done. That rate is 40%.
Have you received any monies so far?
Yes,
How much?
that number, a little over 700,000.
A little over 700,000's come in because,
700,000.
you know, that, and then what you do is they'll have to determine, Oklahoma Healthcare Authority, is that who it is?
It is.
They, after the end, each month it's like retroactive, they tell you what you've got to send back, the 40% for non-natives, so we get to keep it.
Oh, I
So
see, I see.
it has to, it's like.
So at this point, do you know what you need to send back?
We've already we billed out about 700,000 that we've got to do, see, you know, coming in. So that's like, now, we don't know, I don't know, Lacey probably can tell you, because they got formulas that they've gotta do to send that money, 40% back. So if you just took, 700,000, let's just say, for
And
instance,
say
40% off that, then, that we had to hypothetically send back, so, that'd be what? 280,000, so what's 280,000 from 700,000? That's $420,000, so there's your profit right there. Now I'm just hypothetically.
Yeah.
That'll get you close.
Get you close.
That's not factoring
So
wages.
but my question, like I said, what I wanna know basically right now, are you guys turning a profit currently?
We are now, like if you take a snapshot, yes. But if you look at the big picture where we've been loaning it money, no. Does that make sense?
You mean what you guys have borrowed and
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
pay that?
Mhm. But as of now,
So are you guys like on some type of a payment plan that you guys are,
yes, we
or
are.
are you just every penny that you're getting, you're pushing forward your loans that you own?
No, we have, Lacey has it all worked out. We have a payment plan with Superior,
Okay.
and it's movable. Like this big influx, if we can put more toward it and get that taken care of if we choose to. But we aren't robbing it completely, no. We're gonna leave some for expansion and things like that.
So if you just, okay, thank you. If you guys just figure, or you account on you having 40% currently, and that's what you look at as being your profit, if you got the 400,000, like you said, 400, hypothetically 400,000. You're taking all of the bills from that,
Oh, yeah.
you're paying your loans from that, you're paying salaries from that. So what is it that you guys have left over in actual profit?
That would be a question for Lacey. She can run those numbers for you, and you can look
I
at
mean,
it.
just
That's
out of
what I've been
curiosity,
asking for.
because,
I've actually been asking for that, and I haven't received.
It's very, we're very blessed that we've had a superior thing.
yeah,
You're getting too many people talking again.
Yeah, but my whole concern about this and what I'm looking at is, and it's good, if you guys are getting out of the red, that's fantastic. But,
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah, but it's just trying to keep up with or knowing, and like, I'm not micromanaging, but, just what are the profits? Because I know looking back on all of our, actual, like our monthly report that she gives us, we have nothing from the corporate board coming back into gen fund.
We don't have until there's any profit. If you-
Well, see, that's why I'm asking,
Yeah, there's-
what is your,
Well, until you get all your debts, we had almost,
you're
way
not-
over $1 million we put into that thing every month. We had to dig up to put in there. That's why, so when you go backwards, close to $2 million, it's gonna take a little while to get out of that hole.
That comes back to all the scheming that comes out of that facility.
Yeah, before you
It
can
all
have a
goes
profit.
back to that.
I know.
We're paying for what they get.
So what you're saying is that all the revenue that you've made, that you do have revenue,
Now we do.
We got,
that
now we
every
got
bit of
that.
that every bit of that is going to pay off
We
debt.
didn't want to.
One at a time.
Yeah.
I've got 2 years, but I like
We
to.
got off the report when we went in, we didn't want to.
Okay,
so-
hang on.
We're gonna let's go ahead and get off like this, and let's get off that, and we'll get the court board in here.
And whatever
There's
there
people out
is,
there
then
that's
we'll
way
discuss
there.
it. Then we'll discuss it.
Hey, you got no.
Oh, Lord.
Good job.
Thank you. Good to sign it. Hey, I'm sure the council will let it happen, but I put my picture up there. Yeah. Yeah, come over there. Come over here. I'm sorry, what's yours?
I got, there's 3 chairs back there.
I got some metal chairs up here.
All right.
Fishbowl.
Much better for you. You come here, everybody. You got a couple of them. All right. Come on in here. Hey, yeah, you can sit up front in the middle, brother, all right. No?
I don't feel very social distance right now. I know, I'm just saying, I didn't expect that we were gonna meet in a small room and everybody be here all at one time. I'm like, no, I'm real happy, so. I can move for, no, for
Hey, I say we just move it outside into the grass.
I don't, can't do no handshakes, I'm sorry.
Hey, John.
I think Amanda's, oh, I guess.
We go yesterday. Go.
Sure.
We had a good, we had a good meeting yesterday too.
Have a seizure.
We got off, big opportunity for some of this testing, over testing.
So John, Adam, Pansy, good to see you. It's good to see you too. Thank you for being here. Anytime. Hey, yeah. Okay.
Do we need to sit like this and start?
Where's the drum?
Drum out there, where's Chief at?
It's back there, sit about right there, about 6 feet. Whoa, right there.
Nah, don't come any closer.
Let's go,
Waiting on Chief.
let's go.
Okay, Robert.
Yeah. Okay, I can start this, one.
Yeah,
It's on the
sure.
chair of the court board. There's been some, accusations that the court board is violating the law. And, Mr. Wakachi said, well, he's been asking for, reports. I think all the council has reviewed their, emails and seen what he sent out. First of all, before we go into that, I want to say something about this board right here. And Mr. Sachs just got on here recently, and but here's 1, 2, 3 members right here, and I have been on this for quite a while now, and we inherited a nightmare. I've got a handout right here for anybody that's interested in what we inherited about 5 years ago when the chief was assistant chief, and so he's very familiar with all the stuff that we inherited, with these men, long copies and everything. And we brought Miss Pansy Borshire on as our lawyer, and she's a very good corporate lawyer. I'm really proud of her. I've seen her go to the mat basically for us on another issue that was a gag order that was issued, and I can't talk about that, but I wanted to say that these people right here have worked hours. Now, I don't even know how many hours that John and Adam has worked, and Eldine on corporate board issues. I know we've emailed back and forth. We're working on projects. We've looked at numerous proposals that came in, and Council Sachs has got on there in January, and I think I'm not going to speak for him, but he certainly can speak for himself, but he's been to some of the corporate board meetings, and I know he said seen the difference. I don't understand what the animosity is toward this corporate board, but for the last, it was overthrown in 2017, right? We got in office, we had to reinstate the corporate board act. It's just been one issue after another. But these people have worked tirelessly, I mean hours, and you know how much money they get? $150. $150 stipend is what they get for putting in all the time. And it seems like all we get is ridicule. And I'm gonna tell you something, we're on the cutting edge of some things that can make this tribe. You know, I have the charter, and I was talking to the people up there yesterday. I said, you know, our tribe is unique. We're a congressional tribe. We're the only Cherokee tribe that is a congressional tribe. We have a constitution, it has our bylaws in there. But we have something that a lot of people don't have, and it's a corporate charter, a federal corporate charter. That's what's going to make this tribe rich. You know, we got a blessing in disguise when we got this $24 million. And I heard the word economic used in there, see, and so
so we'll see how we want to distribute this money. But I want to brag on these people. I'm telling you, it's, and the ones that was on here before. I mean, if you want to look at this report that I've got, some of the stuff that we've had to deal with from there's one guy, and I won't say his name, and I hope he brings something admin. His name is Sam Younger. He left this tribe in a bad, bad shape. And I've got the documentation to back it up. I've got a couple of documents out there, so I'm going to brag on these people. For $150, I would challenge anybody in here to get up and go do what they do and bring the people in that's been coming in. So.
And I agree.
We've got a couple of issues here. I think there were some rumors that was spread, and it's sad that we make knee-jerk decisions on rumors. I watched the video last month, March 7th, and this one item on here, this resolution was passed about to amend approve contracts. I mean, you guys made yourself a mandatory rule before we even can approve them. But that, I believe that was based on rumors, and it's sad that we pass knee-jerk laws on rumors. But I think today we need to get this all behind us and move forward, because I was on the phone early this morning with an investor in Chicago that has about a $55 million deal for COVID-19 testing that's available. And they're looking for a tribe to get involved with it. These gentlemen had a very good meeting yesterday. We had a meeting yesterday about testing with our doctor up there. We could set up a portable testing lab right now and bill 100%, because we're in a pandemic. We can bill 100% instead of giving back. We can do 100% on this right now currently, and I think we need to take advantage of it. I'm a capitalist. I like to capitalize on things, but you know, bickering and finger pointing and stuff like that doesn't ever get anywhere. So I'm proud of the corporate board and what we're doing, and I certainly wish there was an opportunity to compensate these people more, but maybe there will be someday. And you know, it's what we leave behind that matters. So, Chief, you can start this, but we've got a couple of issues right here, and I brought our legal in here to talk about these things. So I'll turn it over to you, Chief.
Okay. Did you have something there?
I just wanted to say that I think a lot of the confusion and a lot of the animosity, as you called it, and things that go on is due to lack of discussion, lack of interaction, because I've talked to a couple of you now, and I've learned that what seems to be happening is there gets to be, you know, rumors going around, and they don't understand, and the council doesn't understand what we're doing, and so things get, you know how rumors are. You know, we've all played the little game where when we were kids, you sit at one end and you say something in somebody's ear, and it goes all the way to the other end of this, several people, and it gets down the other end, and it's not even anything like what it started out to be. And so I think that's how rumors are and the things that happen sometimes. But I would encourage you all you are ex officio members of the corporate board. I would encourage you anytime you can to come. I personally, and I know somebody's probably going to throw a rock at me or something here, but I would like to see the corporate board meetings be on Saturdays, on a Saturday at least once a month, when the council could be here, because they say, well, nobody comes to the corporate board meetings, but we don't have the corporate board meetings when a lot of you can make it, especially if you have jobs and work. So I'm just going to throw this out here, and I'll probably make the corporate board mad at me, but I'm just telling you the truth. I feel like that what we need to do is make it possible for the council to come, and that way there won't be suspicions, there won't be accusations. The council will know exactly what we're doing. We don't do things behind locked doors. We're there, but we want to do things in a way in which all of you can be a part of that, because you are board members, ex officio, but you are board members. And I, for one, would love to see all of you be able to participate and help out and come and see what we're doing. So we can all be on the same page and bring this tribe forward together. That's my say. Sorry.
Well, thank you for that, and no doubt, I believe, in terms of throwing over to me, and I'm just gonna throw this out there. One of the things that I'm seeing, anytime that I act on behalf of the council and ask questions, it's thrown back at me that you're trying to destroy or you're trying to remove the corporate board. And the actuality was, just ask the question. Just ask the question, that was all it was. Then all of a sudden, I'm destroying and I'm trying to remove the corporate board. So that, you just said, just now, we can talk, we can visit. But that ain't happening both ways. That ain't reciprocal.
Right, right, and I'm not accusing anybody of not.
Exactly, I'm not either.
But
And that's what,
all I'm saying is that if all of us can work together for the people and do our best for the people, then, maybe some of these questions won't come across that way. You'll be in that council meeting, or that board meeting, you'll know.
Just a moment ago, we had some questions for some folks, and there's a lot of money being going around in the corporate board. And we appreciate what you all are doing. No doubt, you've done well, you've done great. With a zero budget. Zero budget. But today's a little bit different story. Some of the things aren't showing up in these documents.
Well, and those documents are a little bit behind because our accounting office hasn't brought us up to the minute.
it says 514 on it.
Well,
That's a front
It
page.
was, yeah.
that
This
one
printed
is,
on
yeah, but if you
514.
read some of the rest of those, they're through,
So,
And that's what I'm saying.
earlier
is
dates.
If this is a report that you want to submit to me right now, I'm not going to approve this report due to the fact that I have some information right here for everybody, if they want to take a look at it.
Well, I really don't want any approval of any
You
report
want to take a look at that?
that you have, Jeff, because the things I sent you, some of them are as far back as November. I didn't have the up-to-date stuff to send you in my computer. Now, we need to go talk to Lacey and get that up-to-date if you want.
okay.
I got it directly from KCTS as an ex officio member of the corporate board. I
Okay.
called up and requested the information on the billing, and you can go through that right there and take a look at it. This is the information that they sent me.
AG's got the floor. Jen.
Okay, if we're gonna be talking about anything that involves
Yes.
personnel or confidential business dealings, or if Ms. Morshire or myself are gonna be talking about legal issues, we may wanna go into executive session with the corporate board to do that.
Let's do
I just
that.
have one comment to make before we do that. And what she hit on is fine. I completely understand where she's coming from. But the thing is the only thing that we're asking for is just some transparency. If we don't have the correct, just say for instance, you gave Jeff things all the way back from
No,
November.
I just.
That's fine. But what we're looking for is what's going on right now.
Right.
If you
I understand that. That's why I encourage you to come
Yeah.
to meetings.
Yeah, and the thing is, but there too, again, just as something we discussed a while ago, how can you encourage me to come to a meeting when I don't even know that a meeting is going on, or that a meeting has occurred?
That needs to be rectified.
Well, I don't know who it is within the corporate board that's gonna take that by the reins and get it fixed, but you know what? If you're having meetings and you don't announce it to the ex officios, which that is in the corporate act, that is mandated in the corporate act,
I agree.
that there's a meeting occurring, nobody knows. We can't come to a meeting that we're not made aware of.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo that the Corporate Board Act actually allows ex officio members to even vote in some circumstances. If a corporate board member can't attend, they can give their proxy to a council member, and the council member can show up and vote on the corporate board things. So what would be best is if council as ex officio members got notice through their email or mail of the agenda, the meeting date, and things that are going to be discussed. And then if they want to show up, they can. If they can't make it, they can't make it. But at least that information is flowing to the ex officio members of the board.
We can't attend the meeting and we don't know it's occurred.
Yes.
And the thing is we don't have the information that is discussed. None of it, nobody even knew, or I did not, I don't know who knew, who didn't know. Who knew that the treatment center was opening over here on the loop? Who here at council knew that?
I just found out about it, just like whenever I went up to.
Okay, and I think these are important things for us as council. You didn't know anything about it, you're on the corporate board and you, yeah. See, and it's things like that we need transparency for, you know what I mean?
Kind of like that $24 million I found out about Wednesday morning.
Right, that was on a different thread.
I never got the email.
That's my
email.
I read my email, chief. I never got it, I can show you
If
my
we don't,
emails.
I mean, to me, it's embarrassing if somebody comes to me and asks me, what justices does the tribe have? And I can't answer that question because I don't know. Here I'm the ex officio to all the businesses and anything going on with the tribe. But I can't tell anybody what business that we have. I don't know
And
the
that's what I'd
names.
like to see rectified.
Right.
That's what we're working for today.
That's what we're doing today.
And see, that's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
The intent of the actual, what you think is based on lies, the resolution that I didn't do it because of rumors or anything like that. I did it because we need transparency. It's not anything against you. All these people here, they do work hard. They work extra hard for this job. But it doesn't have anything to do with anybody lying about anything. It has to do with everybody needing to know the same information.
Right, right. Can we go into executive session then so we can talk about it?
I think some of this is confidential.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
Get a second?
Second.
Great.
We'll
Can I
just try to
say-
keep it.
Just one thing, before we go into, I'll be quick. You're right, miscommunication, no communication, it's been like that within this tribe since I've been here. Nobody tells anybody anything until it's already done, already said. So this isn't nothing new, this isn't anything that, we need to start working on that.
Yes.
Something that's gotta get fixed.
Yes, we need, and I've been preaching this thing since I've been here. Nobody tells anything.
It's not micromanaging anybody, it's getting things fixed.
So we'll know, so we'll just so we have an understanding.
Exactly. This report right here that we was presented, both this one right here, it states that you are in negotiations working with IHS and the Oklahoma Healthcare Authority and working on getting these bills, under control and everything, and getting the billing process going. And you said, it's going good. Well, according to the reports that I got, it's going so well that you brought in $981,000.
We need to go into executive session.
Yeah, we need to go into executive
Right.
session.
We got a vote. Who made the motion?
With,
I did.
with the corporate board and the corporate board's adjourned.
LMA second.
And that's nowhere on here.
Legal and the tribe attorney.
I'll get those copies. Hold on.
I'm gonna shut this door.
Okay, council, I'm going to call for a vote to enter executive session to include the corporate board and their legal, and to include the tribe's attorney general. I'll call for vote. Eddie?
Yes.
Jeannie?
Yes.
Elmae?
Yes.
Adeline? Frankie?
Yes.
Sharon?
Yeah.
I vote yes. Peggy?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Charles? Barry?
Yeah.
Jeff?
Yes.
And I will back up for any documentation, but that was a motion by Jeannie and a second by Elman.